Lived down a dirt road, lived in the sky. Farmed my days away and I sailed through the night. Ain't found a place for my roots to grow. Keep on moving, that's what I know. Had my share of love, lived through the loss. Devil on my shoulder as I carried across. Ain't found a place for me that's too far to go. Keep on moving, that's what I know. Know you've been waiting for me to settle down. Know you've been hoping that I'll stick around. Can't be love on such shaky ground. You make it hard for me to go. Keep on moving, that's what I know. Boots keep walking as I carry on. I'm at home when I'm on the go. Keep on moving, that's what I know. Know you've been waiting for me to settle down. Know you've been hoping that I'll stick around. Can't be love on such shaky ground. You make it hard for me to go. Keep on moving, that's what I know. You make it hard for me to go. Keep on moving, that's what I know. Thank you. Here we go. Found him down in Georgia, thought he'd stick around to play. He don't sit for no one, he got somewhere else to be. Man in a hurry, don't settle down for me. Don't you catch him while he's running, 'cause you'll have to set him free. Drove out to the desert, GA2AZ. He don't stop for nothing, got a fire at his feet. Man in a hurry, oh, don't settle down for me. Tricked and rope him in, girl, and he'll still ride up on that sea.
Very nice try. So weird. So weird to have the silence. All right, into the light, I think. Otherwise known as the Daniel song.
Something inside her said, little girl, you don't
I don't usually play the guitar for this one, but I'm going to today. And Troy doesn't usually sing it either. Actually, this is a duet with a friend of mine named Nick Bossy. So playing the part of Nick Bossy today will be Troy Caruana. Ready?
She wouldn't wed an outlaw. She was in the family line. So I hung my hat, said I'd walk the line. The money don't come easy, like the days my pistol left. So I worked my fingers to a bone to keep my family fed. I can't buy her pretty things like I did before, but I gave her everything she asked me for. Penny mine, where did you go? Left the kids behind, took my 44. I've searched high, I've searched low. We're running from the man or from the wrong.
You could find the reasons to give up the open road. Couldn't find a way to silence all the lies that you told. Every day beside you, knowing you were far away. Didn't want to leave a life behind. I just wanted you to stay.
Any night, where did you go?
Kids behind and took my 44.
I've searched high, I've searched low.
Are you running from your man or from the law?
Are you running from my love?
Are you staying just because
We were living for what it was.
tethered hearts want to roam? Don't make a home.
Any night, where did you go? Left the kids behind, took my 44. Any night, where did you go? Left the kids behind, took my 44. I've searched high and I've searched low. Running from the man or from the law.
Are you running from the man or from the law?
Are you running from your man or from the law?
Good, because this is an angry one.
Ready?
I'm ready. what you told me, but now I'm in control. You want a bigger boy, but you still play the game. You're holding on to something you ain't got the right to claim. There's a big old line between a coward and a man, and you've always been on the wrong side of the sand. Had me caught in the crossfire, 'cause you can't take a stand. But I'm betting you'll be sorry that you play that losing. There's a big old line between a coward and a man, and you've always been on the wrong side of the sand. Had me caught in the crossfire, 'cause you can't take a stand. But I'm betting you'll be sorry that you play that losing. Thank you. Sounds a little different with drums and bass and all that.
All right, thanks for joining us again on Between the Notes podcast with Motif Magazine here at the Parlour. We want to give a big shout out to them. And we also want to thank our sponsors, R1 Indoor Karting, Rhode Island Energy, and Trinity Beer Garden. And of course, thank you guys for checking out the Motif Magazine Between the Notes podcast. We had Liz Spencer today and Troy Caruana, and they actually performed a live set for us just now. We're going to get into some interview questions. I really had to say thank you guys for joining us. I mean, this is so different from what I am used to hearing here at the Parlour, but I love the sound, the country, kind of Americana, sort of rock and roll, really Southern country style. So thanks for bringing that sound. It's very much needed. I think there's room here for resurgence and revival of that kind of energy. So thank you for bringing it, seriously.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah. So what performances have you guys lined up for us that we could catch you at next?
We have
North Kingstown, the Summerfest is coming up.
Yeah, I play a lot in Boston right now. I'm kind of divided between two different bands. So the Liz Spencer band I'm in with Troy. We have a Country Fest coming up in New Bedford. We have the North Kingstown Summer Concert Series, July 16th. Joshua Quimby's Back Home Fest in Norwich, Connecticut. And then I pretty much have everything laid out on my Instagram page also. There's a lot coming up.
Yeah, I saw there's a huge stack of shows. You're like got a bunch of runs. So you're playing with Troy and then you play by yourself, or?
Yeah, so Troy and I started together. When I sort of got back into music, it was with Troy, and we did duo gigs, and then we started a band, and the band has been doing really well. And then I started to branch out a little bit into playing Boston with another band called Orchid Reed, and so I'm sort of dividing the time between the two, and it's been a lot of work, but a lot of fun. But Troy is really the core of what I do still. I started with Troy, and we're kind of building the empire together, I think, too. So,
would you say your empire is the Boston area music scene?
It's getting that way. Actually, we've been doing Nash Bar also as a duo for a while, too. We have some more Nash Bar gigs coming up there. He actually moved to Boston, which is part of what... Thank you, Troy. Part of what helped facilitate that was Troy moved to Boston, so it's a lot easier for him to play up there also. And he's a musician in his own right, doing his own thing also up there, so...
Right on. And so you guys have, I saw a lineup of shows coming, and one of them is actually on a tall ship in Boston. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so that is going to be, it's just billed as Liz Spencer, and it's going to be with a band that's backing me up, and we're going to be doing a lot of Southern rock. It's a country / EDM event, which is different for me. But it's supposed to be, it's going to be a very big event. It's a ticketed event, so we're hoping that people will jump on. I have the link in my bio to buy tickets for that. But I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this tall ship, and I'm really excited that I was asked to play there. So that's going to be a big one. It's coming up in July.
I'm so I'm interested. I want to go. I got to see what this. It's Boots and Beats. I think it was called. Yeah. Never heard of anything like this, and then it's on the boat, and it just seems like a really cool experience. So it just sounds like you got really blessed. You got some great opportunities and shows lined up. What was your background getting into music? How hard has it been for you to break out into performing and doing all this?
Well, it took decades, I'll say that. I started playing piano when I was very young, and I moved to guitar when I was about 15. And I was a singer-songwriter from the age of 15 on, but I never had the confidence to go out and play any music. All the way up through my 20s, I was writing music and kind of just recording it, singing it for my best friend and nobody else, really. I went through a couple of really, really difficult years back to back, and I stopped playing entirely. I just didn't write music. I didn't sing. And it was right after COVID that I started getting back into it. My friend Tommy was writing music, and we started writing some stuff together, and he got me back into just getting into being able to feel the music and go back to that place again where I could write. And he's an actor, so he was giving me acting lessons on how to connect with the music again, and that just sort of opened the floodgates. And once I got back into playing, I think also because I was older and I had been through so much more, I didn't care as much about what other people were going to think about what I was doing, and I just got out there and started doing it. Troy and I linked up and started doing duo gigs. We got picked up by another band called the Sliding Capos. They started bringing us to events, and we just started getting gigs from there. We decided to build a band. Within 9 months, we were playing the Washington County Fair, and it's just been going up and up since then. I think we just have a really great group of people that we got together. There's a really great chemistry with the band. We just have that magic, ingredient thing going, and so we've been very lucky and very blessed. But with the gigs that we've gotten and the response that we've gotten, and it's been moving fast. But I feel like I took so long to get back into it. I'm just making up for lost time, I lost a lot of years, but I'm kind of getting back into it.
I think a lot of artists can relate to that, especially with COVID. Some people, really either had to let go of the performing that they were doing because of COVID, or had the opportunity to get into it. So I'm kind of on both sides of it myself, and I see a lot of people around me that definitely have been through the healing journey that it takes to be able to create again. And if you had any advice for somebody who feels like they've been out of it for too long, what would you give them?
I would say just be honest. That's the hardest thing, but I think that's what's the most important thing. Is sometimes it's hard to access those feelings. Sometimes if you've been through things, it's hard to even go there. But you have to go there, and if you're honest with people and you're honest in your performance, if you're brave enough to do that, it doesn't matter what other people are going to think of it. You have to do it for yourself. And the lesson that I learned from my friend who was teaching me was, don't be the camera. Just focus from here out. Don't be the camera looking this way. Even right now, I'm trying not to be the camera. But make your performance from the inside out towards your audience, and not the other way around. And just, if it's in your heart to do it, and don't let anything stop you.
Yes, absolutely. And Troy, what got you into music? What inspired you to get out there and do it?
Yeah, so it's really, I've been doing music since high school. It was my uncle who kind of showed me my first chord on the guitar, and then from there I've always kind of had some level of having a guitar with me, but it was really over COVID. Similarly, I kind of moved back to Rhode Island after being away for a while, and had a lot of time on my hands to actually start learning arpeggios and taking it a bit more seriously, working on my scales. So it's been a great way to kind of get out, get back and meet people.
Right on. And did you find that you just had the confidence to be engaging in a band like right off, or did it take like a little of solo performing to get the chops in?
No, that's a great question. There's I think a difference between what you can do and how you play versus how you present yourself in front of other people. And it took a lot, because in COVID, usually when I'd play, it was just kind of for my own entertainment. So I'd always be playing, and then it was a very different thing to learn how to be comfortable in front of people, because everyone can see if you're up there and you're not comfortable, or you're staring at your feet, and there's a whole different element to work on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like what Liz was saying is like shining your light out really helps, and keeping it real and authentic, because then it's like there's nothing to be afraid of. What do you have to lose? Right. You're just being real.
Absolutely.
And I think it really does come through the music too. I will say I streamed the single over a couple of times, Losing Hand, and there is like a lot of realness in that song, and it hits. There's a
lot of realness. Yeah. There's a lot of realness in that song.
So let's talk about it. I know it's on Spotify, right, and all the other platforms.
It's streaming everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how has it been for you with that process, like getting your music out, officially recording it, getting your brand out there with your music?
The brand was difficult because when I first started into music again, I wasn't quite sure. Everything I write comes out a little different. Like Losing Hand is different from Man in a Hurry, which is different from Down. And I've had some producers say to me, like, this doesn't gel. There's not a single album this could go on. So I was trying to find a particular sound that would define who I am, and that's hard. I still don't think I have it. I'm still writing some Americana. I'm still writing some folk. I'm still writing some rock. I think that's really been the most difficult part, is trying not to force myself into a particular genre because you're supposed to, and just sort of figure out where I'm going to fit in. I'm still sort of figuring out where I'm going to fit in. But as far as the process of putting music out, it was easier than I thought it would be. The hard part is you are just one of so many people. And then the promotion is where you have to go. And everything is social media. So I spend so much time on social media, which has been great in a lot of ways. I've made a lot of great connections. But the more time you're on social media to promote your craft, the less time you're working on your craft. So you have to find the balance. And it's so social media driven right now. But I think actually what's been happening more recently is the live performances. That's where I've been finding more of my audience, which is nice because that says a little bit more than the social media with the pictures and videos. And I've noticed the more I've been playing out, the more the streams are starting to pick up. So there's probably a good balance in there too. But
Yeah, you definitely have to keep up with your fans, and as long as you remember that that's why you're engaging in it, then I think good energy will create definitely a good base for you out of your social media. And then I wanted to ask you too, like, so you're following, excuse me, you're following online. You have a pretty big presence. Do you find yourself just kind of still trying to like show your influences there?
Social media for me it has been one aspect of my personality that I've been putting out there, and I'm really careful to keep my private life as private as possible. So everybody is getting to know one particular part of me. And not the whole thing, which I think helps, because I think if you give your entire self away to that many people, you can become the avatar in a way. So I think, I don't even know how people would brand me really on social media. I do try to keep it positive. I think if you're going to be out there and you're going to be putting stuff out there for people to see day to day, I personally just prefer to have positive things out there. I try to reach out to every person that reaches out to me. I try to respond to all the messages that come in and make personal connections with people. And for the most part, it's been great. I mean, I have gotten to know different people from different parts of the world, which has been pretty amazing. I get pictures from Ireland and Italy, and it's been fun in that aspect. But there is a certain level of protection you have to have too.
It seems like you have a good network of musicians that you're familiar with, and certainly there's a good community here. Were there any people that you particularly had a connection with that helped you along, or like other than Troy, obviously?
Yes, my friend Tommy. So he's known as C. Thomas Howell. He was in The Outsiders, and we met. He was filming The Walking Dead, and I got to go down to Georgia, which is where the song Man in a Hurry came from. Found him down in Georgia. We spent a week on the set, and he was really the one who, he literally, I remember we were standing in the kitchen, he said, "Liz, you're an artist." Because I hadn't played music in over 10 years. I hadn't even, and he said, "No, you're an artist, and you need to start being an artist." And taught me a lot of acting lessons to reconnect, because you shut down when things happen. You shut down.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
We'll take it right once I take this drink.
So he was the one who reminded me of what I was supposed to be doing and put me back on the path for that. And I credit him. I just texted him today and I said, "You're with me at every show," because he's really the reason that I started getting back into it. So he's a big part of it, for sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So if I could jump in too and just even say that, well, it's been cool because it's only been about 2 years, right, that we've really been doing this. And like you said, the sliding capo is rarely Dr. Hub Brennan, Gary Briscoe. He lets us practice, full band at his house every week or whenever we need to. And honestly, it's Tim Quick down in Nashville. But it's been cool to see kind of the community emerge as we keep going. Like Nick Bossy, Jesse DeSorsi, Nick Casey, all these groups that are kind of coming together, and it's really cool to see the support there for other bands in the area.
Yeah, local musicians have been huge for us also. I mean, every gig that we've had, we just played Foxwoods. That was entirely Nick Bossy. I mean, he's been just on this meteoric rise, and he's kind of taking us along with him to some of the things, and so
we love to see it.
Yeah, he's been huge.
That tide that rises all the ships, especially now it's really difficult for touring musicians to be able to get around and perform and financially viable, so it's really nice to hear that there are people who are trying to build up and not just do for themselves. I think like you guys are in a specific, I would say, genre pool of like musicians in the New England area that yes, there's a lot, like you said, connections to Nashville. Like I hear it, and something about where we are on the East Coast, that we're very blessed to be able to have so many supporters of live music and nightclubs that are independent, just like the Parlour. And I just always try to remind people as much as possible to get out and support live music. There are no national touring bands without local music. So remember to support your community and your musicians, because they have good messages and they want to share them with the world.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for sharing your messages with the world. Is there anything else you want to shout out here as we come to a close?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been coming out to these shows, everybody who's been showing up on social media. I mean, this would not happen, as great as all the opportunities have been, if people didn't show up for them, they wouldn't be what they are. So to everybody who's been just supporting us and coming out to see us and cheering us on, just a huge thank you to everybody.
And Gene Washington and Ellen Greco, our drummer and bassist, aren't here tonight too, but it's they've been there since the start, and kind of, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, everyone that's kind of making this happen, it's been awesome. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be a band without one missing piece. It wouldn't be the same band.
So out of all of your songs, I have to ask about the Daniel song.
That song, it's officially called Into the Light, but Troy knows it as, depends on who you ask. The people who know the story behind it call it the Daniel song. Basically, and I'm sorry, Mom, for this, but when my mother was pregnant with me, she was absolutely convinced she was having a boy. She knew for a fact, she already had 2 girls. My sisters are twins, and she knew that I was a boy. And when I was born, and I didn't find this out until years later, they said, "You have a girl," and she said, no, I had a boy. And she actually told me that there was a mourning process that she had to go through when I was born to mourn this Daniel. So the line is, she was born in the springtime, which I was born in May, life in full bloom, but Mama was crying for a son that she never knew. And the whole song is basically different sections of my life. That was the first song that I wrote when I returned from Georgia, when I had this musical awakening, and it was just a reflection on my life. And I thought it was kind of poetic that you have this newborn, but you're mourning something that you didn't have, that you thought you had. It just started. It was the story that started my life, and I thought it's just sort of continued on this path. And the chorus, "Your past don't define you," is sort of the theme of the song. So those who know the story call it the Daniel song. But it's officially Into the Light. We will be recording that one. I think that's the next one we're going to be going to do in the studio. So,
like a true artist, and that just, it reaffirms all the other things that you said in the interview so far about your creative process, your artistic destiny.
Yeah, just being true to yourself and writing honest stories. And,
right from the beginning, you're like, I'm my own creator.
Yes, that's it.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to get to talk to you guys and learn more about your music. And thank you.
Thank you
for
very
sharing.
much. Thanks for having us.